After 1.e4, you have exactly 8 serious answers, and one of them fits the way you already play better than all the rest. Start with 1e5, the classical answer, and the move behind one of the most famous attacks ever played by the Black Pieces. New York, 1857, the final of America's first chess congress. Paul Morphy has the black side against Louis Paulson. He castles, he develops, he takes over the center, and then he does the thing that made him a legend. He drops his queen onto f3, right into the heart of White's position, and hands it to a pawn. Take the queen, and a rook swings up to g6 with check. Both bishops pour in behind it, and White's king is caught in a net it cannot escape. Paulson pushed on a few moves, then resigned, run over by the black pieces. The whole lesson of 1-5 lives in that game. Open positions reward the player who brings everybody to the fight, and they punish the one who dawdles. You will face every gambit and every prepared trap here, because this is the ground White knows best. Play 1-5 if you want chess the way it was meant to be learned, and you don't mind earning it. The French defense is the counterpuncher. 1e6 first, then d5, and the point is patience. You let White grab space, you build your wall, and then you swing at the base of his pawn chain with c5, right when his position looks proudest. That big center cannot run away. It can only be defended while you keep piling on. Watch how fast it turns. White clamps down with a 5, c5 bites the base of the chain, the queen comes to b6, and suddenly d4 and b2 are both hanging before White has even castled. And the pressure never stops. A knight loops around the edge of the board to join the siege. The bill is famous too. Your light-squared bishop wakes up behind its own wall, and a full century of French theory is really just the story of setting that one piece free. So the deal is honest. A counterattack with a built-in plan, paid for with early freedom. Play the French if you like absorbing pressure and answering it exactly once, exactly hard. The Caro-Kann is the French idea with the problem solved. 1c6 prepares the same central strike, d5, but watch the timing. In the classical main line, the white pawns trade in the center, and black's bishop steps out to f5 before the pawn door ever closes behind it. No prisoner on c8. Same wall as the French, except the one piece the French locks away is already outside it, aiming at the center, fully employed. White's main plan is to chase that bishop with pawns, h4, then h5, square by square across the board, and the Caro just shrugs, steps back, and stays solid. Everything else about the opening is quiet strength. The structure has almost no weaknesses, the endgames arrive half a pawn healthier, and the whole setup simply refuses to lose on its own. What you give up is speed, because c6 develops nothing, and ambition, because you rarely get to punch first. Anatoly Karpov, famous for how rarely he lost, trusted the Caro-Kann for decades at the very top of chess. That tells you exactly who this opening is for. Play the Caro-Kann if you want solid without passive, and if winning in 50 moves tastes just as good as winning in 20. The Scandinavian breaks the first rule you were ever taught. 1. d5 offers a pawn, White takes it, and your queen recaptures on move 2, standing alone in the middle of the board. Every beginner course on Earth says the same thing here. Early queen. Punish it. So here is the inconvenient secret. The punishment does not exist. Knight c3 comes with tempo, the queen slides back to a 5, and that is the last time anyone lays a finger on her. From there the setup builds itself. c6 for a safe square, bishop out to f5, a little pawn fortress, and it is the same plan no matter what White tries. And if this still sounds like an internet gimmick to you, take this. Valencia, 1475. The oldest recorded game of chess under modern rules, preserved move by move inside a love poem, opens 1.e4d5. The very first game anyone ever wrote down answered 1.e4 with the Scandinavian, queen out early and all. 5.5 centuries of students have been taught to punish that queen, and the oldest game on record was already ignoring the rule. Play the Scandinavian if you want one setup against the whole world and nearly zero theory to memorize. The Pirc hands White the center on purpose. 1, d6, then knight f6, then g6, and your bishop settles onto g7, staring down the longest diagonal on the board. White gets everything a coach ever promised him, 2 proud pawns in the middle and all the room in the world. That is the bait. A big center has to be defended everywhere at once, and your entire army was built to attack it. White can throw the whole thing forward, f4, the Austrian attack, pawns rolling straight at your king. Curaçao, 1962. A young Bobby Fischer, white, pushes that storm at Victor Korchnoi, and Korchnoi, sitting calmly behind the Pirc, invites it in. One greedy pawn lunge from Fischer, g4, and black strikes back, a bishop crashes in, then a knight, and all at once it is the great Fischer's position falling apart. Korchnoi's pieces mop up, and Bobby Fischer resigns with the black army running him over. Play the Pirc if you are a counterpuncher who accepts real danger as the entry fee for a real fight. The modern is the Pirc's slippery cousin. The bishop still goes to g7, but the knight stays home, and that one detail changes the whole conversation. You commit to nothing. There is no knight for white to attack, no fixed structure to aim at, and every move order stays open. You make little edge moves, a 6, maybe b5 next, quietly grabbing space on the side while white is still wondering where the game actually is. Opponents who memorize 20 moves of sharp theory discover their preparation is pointed at empty air because you never entered the position they prepared for. There is no refutation of a position that refuses to exist. Meanwhile, your dark-squared bishop chews on the same long diagonal all game long, the one piece in your camp with a permanent job. Play the modern if you would rather outthink people than out-memorize them, and you don't mind living in a strange position for a very long time. Alekhine's defense is open provocation. 1. nf6 attacks the e-pawn with a knight and dares it to march. It marches, e5, and the knight hops to d5. White keeps coming, and the knight calmly drops back to b6. Another push, another gained tempo, and by move 5, white owns the biggest pawn center you can legally build, 4 pawns standing abreast across the middle of the board, which is exactly the trap. Every one of those proud pawns abandoned the squares behind it, the wall needs defending on 4 files at once, and black's pieces come out one by one and start biting at it from the flanks. Then the real counterstrike lands, f6, and the proud wall starts to crack. Entire books exist just to teach white how not to fall for this, which is its own kind of compliment. The defense carries a world champion's name, Alexander Alekhine, and it proved itself on the biggest stage chess ever built. Bobby Fischer brought it out in the 1972 World Championship match against Boris Spassky, with the whole world watching, and won with it. Play the Alekhine if you enjoy opponents who beat themselves, one eager pawn push at a time. Which brings us to the main event. The Sicilian, 1, c5, is what you play when a draw was never part of the plan. Nothing about the position is symmetric, so nothing about the game will be quiet, and both players know it by move 2. Here is the engine under the hood. When white opens the center with d4, black trades his c-pawn for it, a wing pawn for a center pawn, and just like that, black owns the healthier structure and a half-open c-file aimed straight at white's queenside. White, in exchange, gets faster development and every attacking chance in the world. Both sides got exactly what they wanted, which is why neither side can ever relax. The Sicilian is the most successful reply to 1.e4 that black owns, and the most played and most analyzed opening chess has ever produced. Its sharpest branch carries its own legend, the Najdorf, knight f6, d6, then the quiet little move a6, a position the strongest minds and machines have argued about for 70 years without settling. And watch what that argument looks like on the board. Both armies castle toward opposite wings, then charge, white's pawns storming one king while black's pawns storm the other, 2 attacks racing each other to arrive first. Bobby Fischer and Garry Kasparov, 2 of the fiercest players who ever lived, trusted this opening almost exclusively for their entire careers. It has decided world championship matches, and it will decide a game at your local club tonight. So call the Sicilian what it really is, not a defense, a counterattack wearing a defense's name, filing for war on move 1. Play the Sicilian if you came to win. Those are the 8 serious answers to 1.e4. The unserious ones, the openings that look completely illegal and somehow keep winning anyway, are already broken down right here.